It's time to kick things off on Rip and Riff with
my Rip and Rant.
Thanks, Dave. All right, so I'm going to audible into a different one I talked about pre-show. So do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
Well, now I'm intrigued by this audible, so go ahead. I don't want to interrupt this.
So shout out to the city of Tucson, Arizona. I spent 2 days there with you with Christopher Mad Dog Russo back when teams still had spring training down there. City Council voted 9-0 to not let the Tucson Roadrunners, the AHL affiliate of the former Coyotes, go up to Mullet Arena for the season and play the majority of the games up there. They have a hockey team they like. They support it. They go, and they fought to keep it, and they're keeping it. So even though Big Brother up in Phoenix wanted to move the team up there, no. They said, we're keeping our team. Go kick rocks. Kudos to the city of Tucson. You have a lot of tattoo parlors in the University of Arizona campus, but I don't know what else you got, but you really showed some chutzpah today by telling what's his face up in Arizona, the old Coyotes owner, like get that out of here. You're not taking our team.
Now, is Tucson the AHL affiliate of the Coyotes?
Yes, the Roadrunners. Okay.
The Roadrunners. Clever name there, the Roadrunners and the Coyotes. All right, so I see what they did there. So, yeah, that's interesting because obviously it's the AHL affiliate and the NHL team. I'm sure they're not very big fans of the Coyotes or the former owner Alex Morello or any of the other ownership groups prior to that, and their lengthy history of not paying their bills and not paying rent and stiffing vendors and all that sort of stuff, allegedly, according to The Athletic. A shout out to Kitty Strang.
Of course. Now, they're going to play 6 games up in Mullet Arena, so, Phoenix is still going to get, you got to at least, throw a bone to, the real Coyotes fans that get screwed in this whole situation. So you're going to have a handful of games up there, but, it's Tucson's team. Why should those fans, they support them, they go. Why should they have to, suffer the consequences of mismanagement from something that has nothing to do with them, essentially?
All right, now let me ask you an interesting question off of this, because Arizona's been bad for a while. I liked the approach that they had with their rebuild, which was basically scorched earth, trade everyone, take on bad contracts, acquire $1 billion draft picks. You're not going to be good anyways for the foreseeable future. So be as bad as possible for, a 4 or 5 year stretch where, they're openly tanking, which I think rocks. More teams should tank. And now all that hard work is going to Utah. And Arizona has nothing to show for it. So I guess my question would be, if you're a Coyotes fan, do you follow the team to Utah because those are the prospects, the draft picks, the players on the team that you've grown attached and accustomed to, or are you in on Arizona 2.0 whenever Morello gets a second team? Because even if probably will never happen.
It probably won't happen, and even if it does, it's not going to happen for at least 4 or 5 years. So I am absolutely, listen, Utah is not that far away from Arizona, same time zone. You're still in the same division. So, and I would love to assume that they're still going to televise the games in the Phoenix and Arizona market, at least for the first few years. I know the Raiders used to be obviously in Oakland, so up here in the North Bay where I am, we were still getting the Raider games like they were the local team for the first couple of years. Now that started to fizzle out a little bit because they've been in Vegas. So I'd like to think that they're going to still show all the games there. So, yeah, I'm absolutely rooting for that team. And it kind of sucks because now you have an owner that's going to, okay, we did all the crappy part of the rebuild, with sucking and acquiring picks and bad contracts. Now you got the owner that's going to start spending money.
The fun part of the rebuild where you go get players and you'll still be bad for a couple more years probably just because there's not a lot on that NHL roster as is, but they have so many draft picks where they can just go out and they could make any trade they wanted to. They could go make the Mitch Marner trade tomorrow if they wanted to because they have all the picks to do it.
So, yeah, if I'm a Coyotes fan, I'm absolutely rooting for the Utah fill in the blank, whatever they are, and rooting for them just as hard because, my money, my time, my sweat, is invested in that team. And again, it's not like they moved to Quebec where it's okay, now you're 2 time zones away. Watching games is not as easy and all that. You can still operate, except for going to the games, you can still essentially operate the same way as a fan.
Interesting. I'm not sure how I would feel as a fan. I would probably follow Utah just because I think I would hate the ownership group more, and now it's a different owner. And like, if Arizona gets a team in the next few years, it's going to be Morello owning it, and it's going to be like the same crappy owner you've had, except now you don't have all those assets that you put in all that hard work for. So I think that's a case where I would probably follow the team to Utah.
I mean, it's not unprecedented. It's a little bit different with the Browns and the Ravens because they end up in the same division and having to be rivals anyway. But I mean, that was tough if you're a Browns fan, right? When the Browns were starting to turn up, they go to Baltimore, and a couple of years later, they have one of the best defenses of all time, and they go and win Super Bowls, and that should have been us. So that's tough.
And not just that been one of the best organizations in the NFL for the better part of like 2.5 decades now.
Yeah, pretty much. They go to the playoffs, 3 out of every 4 years on average. Like, and they're a threat. You always got to worry about Baltimore and John Harbaugh.
Yep, you got to respect them. So that's a good rip and rant. I like that one. Good audible there.